Hello, yes, hi, I'm Otrine. Do you lack morals and empathy for your fellow human beings? Then boy, do I have news for you. Rimworld is a top-down, single-player survival strategy game that tests your mettle, patience, sanity, and of course, love. So how do you get started? Well, Tanner, I'm glad you asked. Like the experience of walking into any good drunkard, you're about to hear a good story. Lucky for you, you have about 3 good drunks to tell you different kinds of stories. You have Cassandra Classic, she's boring. You got Phoebe Chillax, she's boring. And then you have Randy Random. Holy shit, you're in for a treat. He has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at torture, human trafficking, or genocide. Randy is precisely what his name implies. Random. Every aspect of your game is a roll of the dice. He doesn't care if you're doing good or bad. He is going to drop the fucking sun on you. And while you're burning to death, he'll gift you a healthy sum of meat. You can of course have more storytellers thanks to something I'll talk about later. You generally start with 3 people, but because I'm incapable of playing fair in any game that isn't Souls-like, I've installed the mod Prepare Carefully, but we'll talk more about that later. I'm not smart and also a Fallout New Vegas fan. I haven't had estrogen as of late. So I picked the Wastelands from the mods I download. I should probably get to the... Okay, so there's this fun little thing on Steam called the Workshop where you can very easily download mods. I kinda have a serious addiction to these, regardless of what they do. This isn't for the best because it tends to bring out the worst in me, specifically because I've downloaded Vanilla Expanded Security, which will later allow me to reenact, certain periods in history, and it can put anime catgirls in the game, so I can have Kaiser catgirls who mass-produce combat robots for me. Alright, I don't have footage of my prisons, which is saddening, because they were actually really good, but I do have footage of my crimes against humanity. Now, your crimes in this game do not matter. Kill for gain or shoot to maim, we don't need a reason. War is very profitable. One may call it a golden goose. You always get the stuff from the raids you do, and usually it's hot garbage until you realize, hey, I can eat this. Along with the special mods, I can also study nuclear warheads, which work really good with artillery. So any given moment, if I don't like a colony or a township that is within 60 tiles of my home base, the world is constantly 2 minutes to midnight, and these are the hands that threaten doom. I will say, though, that getting artillery is a long process that tends to leave my colony very vulnerable, so I found that the solution is simply enslaving catgirls to work on my trench system around my house so that the IRS won't be able to easily rob me of my money, and also my life. You may have surmised that I do not like taxes. Okay, so there's one way you can beat the game, unless you get the DLC. If you get the DLC, there's 2 ways to beat the game. And then if you get the H.P. Lovecraft mod, you have 3. But the first one is you build a spaceship to escape the planet. The second one is that you summon Nyarlathotep. And the third one, you find the Arconexus. However, you cannot access the Arconexus without downloading the... In the name of God. I made that last paragraph specifically to make a segue into this one. Ideology allows you to do some special things. The big one is that it gives you the ability to make a religion. These religions can be anything from charitable cavemen to... Now, of course, you can be anywhere in here. You can be cowboys or a bunch of vegan scum. Limits aren't even conceivable thanks to the workshop. Speaking of which, I'm going... Alright, so mods I recommend, here we go. Okay, so every single Vanilla Expanded, I don't think I should have to explain myself. Specifically Vanilla Trade Expanded for the realistic IRS experience. Android Tiers, because then I can mass-produce robots. Every single storyteller I have, specifically H.P. Lovecraft, because I too am racist. 1.3 nukes, I did mention my artillery fetish, so this might be a me thing, but you should definitely give it a shot. Cheat Spot, because God knows I had to record this video in a set amount of time. Rim War, because I crave violence. You make the stories. I feel like I've heard that one before. Anyways, it's true. Every single person's experience is going to be different. That's the beauty of this game. You don't have to be a you don't have to be a megalomaniacal group of idiots who partake in robot slavery and human slavery if you don't want to. That's the fun part. The fun part is figuring out how you're going to get out of this next event that you don't know is coming. So you prepare and prepare until Randy decides to drop roughly 300 pounds of raw uranium on you. And when you're celebrating your new power source, he suddenly decides now is a good time to bring every single pirate on the map to your house. Of course, you don't have to pick Randy thanks to all the other storyteller mods out there. HP Lovecraft is a fun one. Alright, I'm gonna have to rate this game 5 nuclear artillery strikes on the Catgirl tribe's logging camp that got too close to my house. This is the first game I've ever played that slingshot me all over the political compass as I try and figure out what I'm going to profit off of. And the fact that it turns me, a very stubborn libertarian who just wants to be left alone, into a communist theocrat for an hour every time I play it is just fucking incredible. Personally, I'd recommend you play this even without DLC, because the game is really too good to pass up, and it has given me hours of entertainment, and the mods only make it better. 10 out of 10, buy it, or your town's next.